This video is to show how to install a water box, a complete self-contained RO system. Has the pressure vessel inside also. It has 3 filters and the RO filter in there. Has all the connections on the back end. We'll get to those in a minute. In order to install this, I suggest you purchase our installation kit. Our installation kit has 50 feet of 1/4 inch plastic tubing. This is not 50 feet, there's a lot more than that. Has the an on-off valve, several tie downs to tie the tubing down with, and it has the connector to connect the supply side. There's also an alternate kit that, instead of this type of connector that goes underneath your sink, this type connector goes underneath your sink in between the valve and the piece that extends up to your faucets. I'll show you how to put that on in a few minutes. But we also have an alternate type installation kit that has a saddle valve in it if you wanted to connect it to copper tubing instead. The installation kit on our website that has the saddle valve in it has a video that shows you how to do the saddle valve and how to connect that. We're not going to cover that in this one. The kit that comes with the RO also has a drainage connection, because, as you know, a RO system needs to be connected to the drain also, because it actually has wastewater that goes out that cleans the RO filter continually in order to make the good RO water. The only tools you really need for this are this is a really nice tube cutter. You don't have to have one of these. You can just use a sharp knife. I'm going to use this just for convenience sake. A Phillips screwdriver. Probably you're going to need a adjustable wrench, or a wrench of a particular size, and a drill with a medium-sized drill bit on it. It doesn't have to be an exact size. We'll get to that in a few minutes to show you what that's for the drainage part. Okay. What we're going to do, this is, by the way, this is a faucet, and at the end of this I'll show you how to hook the faucet up to this if you purchase a faucet from us to go on your sink. So let's get started. What you'll want to do is figure out look under your sink and find where this is, and we'll have to hook this. We're going to hook the supply side up first. You basically unscrew that, and then this piece goes on top of there, and then reconnect this to the top of the piece we just put on. Tighten it up good, and now you have a 1/4 inch opening over here for 1/4 inch tubing. I'm going to make a small piece here so you can see. These clips over here. That just pushes in, and it will not pull out unless you push this collar in here to pull it out. And on the end of that, you just put your on-off valve, and then you're ready to open this valve back up, which, by the way, you closed before you started this procedure. So now you have a way to hook your tubing. Let's cut another piece of tube here. To run your tubing to your water box. On the back side of your water box are 3 connections. It may come with little tubes in them in order to kind of keep dirt out of it. If they do, you need to just push the collars in and pull the little tubes out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. These 3 connections are labeled, very easy for you to see. As to what they are. One will say drainage, the other one will say water, and the other one will say water. One of them says water in, and one other one says water out. So the connection that you would have hooked your supply side up to would go to the water in tube on here. And now we're ready to hook the water, or the drainage side up, which is this one down here. To do that, you would normally hook it to a this part of your drain. Now, this is where the drill comes in, and I've already drilled a small hole in this for this. All we got to do then is connect this to the drain. It really is very simple compared to how it used to be done. In this, you'll see there are a couple of plastic pieces, a rubber seal, and a couple of nuts and screws. The way this works is real simple. This plastic seal, take this out, you would take the little hole out, and you would take the back side off of here, which would be sticky, and you would put that over top of the hole that you drilled in your drain, and then put this on over top of that, so that this hole is hooked is right over top of the hole you drilled in your drain. Then you would put this on the back side and put your screws in, like so. And clamp it down fairly good on both sides so that that seal doesn't leak. Now, there's not any real pressure here, so that seal doesn't have to be perfect 100%. Then all you would do is cut another piece of tubing, and run it from here to your drainage on the water box. And now you got water going in and out of your water box so that it can make water. Next piece is hooking up your faucet. Now, you may have this hooked to a water cooler, in which case it would go, you would just hook up a 1/4-inch tubing from here to go right to your water cooler. But if you bought a faucet, like a lot of people do, then what you'd want to do is install this faucet on your countertop. Hopefully you have a hole in your countertop already for it, but you're going to have to do, I can't cover that part in this video. But you have to make a hole for it. The hole has to be big enough for this piece here to go through it. Then what you do is put this metal piece on, and there's a couple of several rubber washers here. You can put all those on there so that it will seal down on your countertop and not scratch it. Put the small nut on there, and that's going to have to go all the way up tight against your countertop. Actually, oops, I've got this wrong. Let me take this back off. There's a metal washer in here, plastic washer, that comes out. I didn't see that in there when I did that. You would put one seal in there. I personally would probably put both seals on the top part to try and make that better, tighter, and less likely to scratch it. Then you would put this down through your countertop, put this on it, and then this screw on it. And that screw goes up against that plastic washer to hold it tight. Tighten that down on your countertop. It doesn't have to be extremely tight. Just tight enough so that it doesn't move. You're not doing putting a lot of pressure on it up here to turn it on and off, just a little bit. Then you got to hook 1/4-inch tubing to this end here. In order to do that, let's cut another piece here. Not a 1/4-inch, actually. Let's just take this out and use the whole thing. The way this works is this 1/4-inch tubing isn't strong enough for a pressure type fitting. So you have this little plastic piece that goes down in it to strengthen it. Now what you want to do is you want to put this piece on first. Put it so that the threads are facing, the end of the tubing. Then you want to put the little plastic collar on. That little collar is angled both ways so that when you put it in there and tighten this up, it will push that little plastic collar against the angled fitting inside here. It's tapered a little bit. Then you put your little plastic piece inside there to strengthen it, and it goes up in the metal there, and then screw this on. And when you get it screwed on good and tight, not extremely tight. If you put it too tight, it may actually leak. But put it on good and snug. You might want to tighten it up a little bit with one of these. And that should seal. Now remember, there's not a lot of pressure here either. It has some, but it's not as bad as your regular water line. And then the other end of this simply goes in where it says water out. Then you're ready to turn your water here, your valve on, like so. When it's parallel with the tube, it's on. When it's perpendicular, it's off. And the system will start making water. You're done. And that's how to install the self-contained water box RO system. Thank you.